Welcome to The Explainer. I'm thrilled you're here today because we are tackling a project that looks deceptively simple but is actually packed with hidden complexities, the Great Fill-Up. You might think, hey, I just need to turn on the garden hose and walk away, right? Well, not exactly. Today, we're going to completely demystify the daunting math, the shocking structural logistics, and the chemical realities of large-scale water management.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, calculating your water volume. Second, finding your flow rate. Third, smart filling strategies. Fourth, well water warnings. And finally, evaporation versus leaks.
To kick things off, think about this number, 1,200 pounds. That is the sheer, shocking scale of water weight in just a small 2 to 3 person hot tub. Why? Because a single gallon of water weighs 8.3 pounds. Before you even turn on a tap, this brilliantly illustrates why proper structural planning for your deck or patio and highly accurate math are absolutely crucial. You aren't just adding water, you are adding an immense structural load to your property.
Section 1. Calculating your water volume. Decoding the math. This brings us right to our first major logistical hurdle, figuring out exactly how much empty space we actually need to fill.
To do this, I want to introduce you to a magic key. The number 7.48052. This is the exact constant number of US gallons contained in a single cubic foot of water. Now you'll see a lot of guides online telling you to just round this up to 7.5 to make the math easier. Please, don't do it. If you use 7.5 on an 8,000-gallon pool, you're instantly introducing a 20-plus gallon error. That might not sound like a huge deal right now, but when you're precisely measuring highly concentrated chemicals later, that error is enough to completely throw off your chemical dosing. Precision really matters here.
What's really interesting about these formulas is how you arrive at those cubic feet in the first place. You find the surface area, multiply it by the average depth, and then multiply that result by our magic constant, 7.48052. So whether you've got a rectangular, round, or oval pool, the geometric formula changes to find the area, like using 0.7854 for circles and ovals, but that conversion constant applies universally across the board to give you your precise target volume.
Section 2. Finding your flow rate. Enter the 5-gallon bucket. Once we know the volume, we have to shift our focus to the mechanics of how the water actually gets there.
So let me ask you, how fast is your hose? You probably have no idea, and you definitely shouldn't guess. Standard household spigots vary wildly depending on your home's plumbing and local water pressure. A garden hose can flow anywhere from a sluggish 9 gallons per minute all the way up to a blasting 17 gallons per minute. That difference literally dictates whether your fill takes 1 day or almost 3.
To solve this, let me introduce the recurring hero of our explainer, the humble 5-gallon bucket. You don't need any fancy equipment to find your flow rate. Just follow these steps. Run your hose full blast. Midstream, slide that 5-gallon bucket underneath and start a timer on your phone. See exactly how many seconds it takes to fill. Then simply divide the number 300 by those seconds. If it took, say, 38 seconds, 300 divided by 38 equals roughly 7.9 gallons per minute. It's a perfect 30-second test. Consider the difference between a standard 5/8-inch hose and a wider 3/4-inch hose. Simply upgrading to that slightly wider hose can deliver close to double the water at the exact same pressure. That single cheap equipment change can shave an entire day off your fill time. And of course, there's the absolute beast of flow rate to consider, the professional water delivery truck. Section 3. Smart filling strategies. Protecting your wallet. Filling a pool uses tens of thousands of gallons, so let's talk about minimizing the pain on your monthly utility bill. It all comes down to the ultimate trade-off between time and money. Using your municipal city tap water is incredibly cheap, usually costing between $100 and $240 for an average pool. But it is agonizingly slow, often taking well over 37 hours of constant monitoring. On the flip side, bulk water delivery offers premium, rapid convenience. A truck can fill your pool in just 2 to 6 hours, but you're paying a premium for the trucking, which easily pushes the cost well over $1,000. Now, if you do decide to use city water, I've got a massive insider secret to share with you. It's called the sewer exemption trick. See, a huge portion of your water bill is actually the sewer charge, which assumes the water coming out of your tap is eventually going down the drain. But pool water never enters the sewer.
A simple phone call to your utility provider before you start filling can waive this charge, instantly slashing your water bill by 30 to 50%.
So, the crucial point is how you manage the actual hose time. Let's rapid-fire some actionable strategies. First, fill at night. City water pressure drops during the day when everyone else is showering or doing laundry. At 10 p.m., you get much higher pressure, and your garden hose isn't sitting in the hot sun baking minerals into the water. Second, if you're using two hoses, make sure they are on two completely separate spigots. A Y-splitter does absolutely nothing to increase your overall flow. Third, attach a hose end pre-filter to catch any sediment. And finally, get that stain preventer in early, right when the pool is 25% full. These simple steps prevent catastrophic water damage and incredibly expensive chemical corrections later on.
Section 4. Well water warnings. Don't burn out your pump. Everything we just discussed changes dramatically if you rely on a private well system.
If you're on a well, the water is technically free, but the risk is monumental. If you run your well dry, you can literally burn out your expensive well pump. You absolutely must test your well's sustainable yield first. A slow, heavily monitored approach is mandatory here. You should only fill in 6 to 8 hour sessions, max. Then you have to let the well recover overnight for 8 to 12 hours. If you ever hear air sputtering or see muddy water, stop immediately. It means your water level has dropped dangerously below the pump.
Well, water also comes with another hidden danger I call the metal trap. See, well water looks perfectly clear coming right out of the hose, but it is often loaded with invisible, dissolved iron and copper. The absolute nightmare scenario is filling your entire pool, finally adding chlorine to sanitize it, and watching in total horror as the water instantly oxidizes and turns dark brown or bright green. If you are on a well, using a metal sequestrant is absolutely non-negotiable before a single drop of chlorine goes in.
Section 5. Evaporation versus leaks. The backyard whodunit. Let's imagine you've successfully filled the pool. The water is pristine, but a week later, the water level is dropping. We're transitioning to the final phase, diagnosing mysterious water loss. First, let's establish a baseline. It is totally normal behavior for a typical pool to lose 1/4 of an inch of water every single day just to evaporation. That's about 30 to 70 gallons literally disappearing into the air. Heat, low humidity, and wind all cause this, so don't panic immediately. However, if you are consistently losing over 1/2 inch a day, that's a giant red flag that you have a leak. Let's build our diagnostic toolkit by bringing back our hero, the 5-gallon bucket. This is a brilliant DIY leak detection tool known as the bucket test. Just fill the bucket with pool water and set it on the stairs so it's partially submerged. Mark the water level on the inside of the bucket and mark the pool's water level on the outside of the bucket. Then wait 24 hours. The water inside the bucket is subject to the exact same evaporation as the pool. So if the pool level drops more than the mark on the inside of the bucket, you officially have a leak. And this brilliantly illustrates how we can take that test one step further to pinpoint the problem. Run the bucket test for 24 hours with the pool pump on, and then do it again for 24 hours with the pump off. Compare those results. If the pool drops faster only when the pump is running, the leak is hiding in your pressure side, like the return jets. If it drops faster when the pump is off, it's a suction side leak, likely near the skimmer. If it drops equally both times, the leak isn't in your plumbing at all. It's a structural leak in the shell, the liner, or a light fixture. It's just an incredibly clever way to track down the issue.
As we wrap up our technical journey today, I want to leave you with this vital truth. Filling the vessel is just the preamble. Fresh tap water is not balanced and it is not safe to jump into yet. You've successfully managed the logistics, the weight, and the volume, but that is simply setting the stage for the chemistry required to actually make the water safe and enjoyable.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Knowing the immense structural weight involved, the hidden utility costs, the dangers to a well pump, and the precise math required to get it right, is your backyard truly prepared before you turn on the tap? Take these strategies, do your calculations, run your bucket tests, and master your own great fill-up. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer, and keep learning.